Hey guys, hey. Y'all, I am outside. It's about time. Hey y'all, welcome to Lovely J Podcast. I'm Coco. And y'all, I know I have not been on here like I should. And just really been taking time to reflect on some things in my own life. And I've been dealing with this pain thing going on too. So I just really took time off for me. Somebody is got some really good bass going. Y'all hear it? I'm sitting outside so I can hear the neighborhood music. And I don't know what that other noise is. But, it's expected. Anyways, I've been looking at everything from these cases with P. Diddy and going over the Giselle Pelicott. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Looking at her case, and then I found some things that just really shocked and blew my mind that was sitting in my house underneath my own nose. That it just blew my mind. Some things I found about my ex. And by the way, me and my ex, the ex, not my ex, because anybody can have them, but the ex, former boyfriend of mine for 15 years, I just happened to be going through, I have tablets here, and I have tablets here that are older than my kids, some of them, because I always like to write. I have tablets older than my grandkids. I just love to write. I love, that's just me. And I was going through some things. I started doing this renovation thing in my kitchen, right? Y'all know I've been working on this kitchen forever. And so I just got tired of sitting around looking at it. And I was like, let me get up and try to put this flooring down, put some tile in, which I screwed it up because my body just won't let me. I've been in so much pain this week, y'all. And I'm talking about chronic pain. It's been nonstop. I've been taking medicine and stuff, and it still just hurts all in my joints and legs and things. But anyways, drunk some tea, got to feeling better. Went back to doing my thing, which was putting this flooring in. In the mix of me putting this flooring in, I'm just pulling out stuff because I want the whole floor completely naked. I don't want nothing there. And I run across some tablets and some old mails that, how we just put it in a bag and then just hide it away. Well, that's what I did. I put it in a bag and I hid it away. And this stuff was from back in 2000. I'm surprised it was still good, but all the way back from 2000 and around 2000, I want to say 2006, 7, 8, somewhere along in that line. Anyways, in the tablet I found was stories. Y'all want me to read a story? It was a story of my life on these relationships with guys and how the two relationships I had been in my life, how they ruined my life. And I even found a letter in there that I had wrote to my daughter from when I had her sent away, to this boot camp that helped save her life. I thought I was doing right. We'll talk about that another day for you parents who making your mind decisions that, hey, my child's out of hand, I can't handle this, and you make a choice to send your child off. Whether that choice was out of fear or coerced, we do need to still talk about that, but that's not what I want to talk about today. But anyway, in that tablet was a letter, so y'all know that this is how old this tablet is, because my daughter was like around 15 years old when I wrote this letter to her. I never got to send it off because, of course, I went and got her out before, I went and got her out. Once I learned what I learned, I went and got her out, so I didn't get to mail the letter. Anyways, I found this tablet. It hasn't had me down in a bad way, But it confirmed a lot of things for me. And my pastor was preaching on confirmation and how you establish and commit your ways unto the Lord. And, he would establish you. He would confirm things in your life. I didn't even think about that till now when I just now got to speaking about it out loud. But this tablet confirmed that I was not losing it. And that I was not, just sick on my own. And I'm mad with myself. And so I didn't come online to take it out on anybody. I got mad with myself once I started seeing how things were confirmed. And I was starting to feel bad for myself because there were people in my life that I just cut loose. I mean, when I cut them loose, once I realized what a person is doing to me and how they really trying to destroy my life, I cut them loose. I don't look back. If I see you in a store, I say, hey, and then I got to go. Because you remember I came on, last time I was on here, I was talking about shaking the dust off. That's what I'm doing now. I'm taking it from Jesus. I'm taking what he say do, shake the dust off, because some things, that's not for me to handle. It's not for me to go through. But this tablet confirmed one of my worstest nightmares about attempted unaliving of me from my ex. It confirmed this nightmare that I lived for 15 years. And I stayed sick. As long as this man was around me, I stayed sick. It was hard to think for myself. I stayed angry. He tried to convince me that I was a diabetic, and that's why I was angry and having these outbursts and things. He tried to convince me that I was just blacking out from drinking alcohol, because back then I was drinking and I was doing drugs. But I shouldn't have been knocking out some of the times the way I was knocking out. So here I was believing. Y'all, take my word for it. Don't stay with a man or woman who don't like you. Because you never know what they're planning. You don't know the harm that they are doing to you. You think you know them. No, you don't. You don't know that side of them. You know the side of them that attracted you to them. But you don't know that deadly side of them. That when they hate, this is the hate that you get to see. You only catch a glimpse of it, okay? You just happen to look at them and catch them staring at you. You catch a glimpse of that hate. But you don't know how much of that hate has been put into place over your life. Let me go get this tablet. Let me get it, y'all. And a bottle of water. Okay, I got me some tea. It helped my knees so good yesterday. Okay, I got the tablet, got the tea. That nettle life tea is good for joints. I mean nettle leaf. Gotta get some more of this. Y'all will give me a second. That's why I ain't come on talking too much. But I feel like I'm in a place I can talk about it now. Because when you just finally realize some things, and sometimes confirmation isn't just confirmation to what you thought, but it's also a shock to you because of the dynamics that play part in there and the things you see and you're like, oh no, this is horrible. This tablet though, I wish I had something to sit up on it. This tablet, it starts off with songs in it. And you know, I was a gospel singer, so I guess this was when we were trying to learn songs, Going Up a Yonder. It's also got on here sometime September 7th. I don't know what year, but the date was down here, and it's got to be 2008 because I got something else written here that says 11/8. Not sure, but anyway, I always write my bills down. It's down in this tablet. Songs that I was learning, Going Up a Yonder, There's a Leak in This Old Building, Jackson Southern News, How Far Is Heaven. And then I had my blues list that me and my sister used to always listen to blues on, and it says 2009. And then I have this. I don't know if this is a letter I was writing or if it was just my feelings I was writing, but I called it Depression. I'm going to read it to you. I hadn't read this one. But this tablet, though, it's... When I was reading, I didn't even read this one, but I'm going to read it with y'all. When I was going through this, it broke my heart because I did so much for people. From my heart, I love people. Let me tell y'all, don't let your heart get you in trouble. Because the love that we think is in our heart, we think that love means that we got to do things that are wrong. That we got to go along with what society says. Well, this is how society will respond to an incident like this. You wouldn't leave people behind, you know, that you love. Well, sometimes that means you do love them when you leave them behind. You know, learning a different way to cope and live with things is good. And back then, I thought love was keeping the family together, keeping your friends up, taking no days for yourself. I didn't have no boundaries set. And because I didn't have no boundaries set, I ended up with depression. I ended up with a great deal of anxiety. I ended up going financially broke because because I had money. I wanted everybody to have money. You ever been like that? You want everybody to win, but the reality is everybody cannot win. It's not meant for everybody to win because some people are winning and they don't even realize it, and they bringing themselves down and they bringing you down along with them. That's like jumping into a lake. Somebody's drowning and you don't know how to swim, but you jumping in there to pull them out. So you drown too. And that's the kind of life I was living, just drowning, just always drowning. And this tablet, it just shows me that when everybody said that I was smart this and smart that, and I played into that because everybody knew I wasn't that smart. I was really dumb to be giving away my money, giving away my time. I was really, you know, just not conscious to what was really going on and how they were playing my kindness for my weakness. Try that mess now though. So the version of me you get now is definitely a tougher model. As I aged, I learned better. Okay, let's read this tablet. It says depression. Now if I do see something in here that I don't think I want to read out loud, I'm not. Depression. Am I depressed? Of course I am. It goes way back to when I was a child. Keep in mind, this was written in 2000 and around 2008, I think, 2007, 2008. Gotta be. Okay. It goes way back to when I was a child. My whole family is a ball of depression. I've always knew I was different. I've never been happy when I think about it. It started when I was younger. I always felt like an outsider. I always tried harder than most. When I would get in trouble at home, I would just cry for hours and tell my parents, y'all don't love me. I might as well off myself. And mama would say, go ahead. She didn't know, but I really did did want to do that. One time I took a belt and hung it on the doorknob. I remember that. That story stuck with me for a long time. Doorknob, and tried to hang myself. When the belt would tighten around my neck, I would begin to loosen and my breath and actually gasp for air. But I knew how to loosen it, and I would. I felt like dying but I didn't want to die. You have to be careful what you say to your kid, because they remember just about everything you tell them. It was times when I felt like I got more whippings than the other kids. I had plates, bowls broken over my head. I was whipped with drop cords. I was so filled with pain in my heart. Seemed like it was never ending. It did. When I was 12, my parents took me to a psychiatrist. I didn't think I needed one, but I guess because I had started acting out, I was talking back. They wanted to get me under control. I was younger than that when I first acted out. I felt the need to always be defensive. So if I felt threatened, I would get defensive. I did act like I knew it all, because I wanted to be heard. Back then, because I was young, I didn't know what depression was. I would talk with the strength and tell them how I was feeling. Did they help? Hell no. He put me on pills, but they didn't help either. I felt a deepness for the longest. There were several contributions that ended up with me being depressed. I can't just put it off on one thing. Like, for instance, my weight played a lot in it. When I was skinny, then by the time I got in the 4th grade, I was fat. The kids at school picked on me. They said I was stinking, fat, and nasty. I weighed 100 pounds. I remember being weighed by the teachers in front of everybody. One of the students said I was the biggest in the class. I blocked that part out. I didn't even remember that. And I was. Everybody knew my weight. That's when I realized I was different from the rest of the kids. I was self-conscious. It's bad enough I had to hear I was fat at school, but when I got home and also at the church members would tell my parents to stop feeding us. I would go back home and just eat junk food. I didn't want to play with the other kids because I was too fat. I couldn't fit on regular toys. Once again, I was defensive. I would tell people, don't worry about me. Look at yourself. Children and adults can be cruel. That led to depression and binge eating. Led to depression and binge eating. I couldn't help that I was getting fat. It felt like I just woke up and there it was. I was overweight. I denied. Now, I wanted to give commentary on that, but I'm just going to keep reading it. I'm not going to give any commentary on that. Okay. I just woke up and there it was. I was overweight. I denied being overweight. When I finally got old enough to fend for myself, or should I say take up for myself, I was 11 years old. I was every bit 200 pounds by then. I was so embarrassed I had to wear women's plus-size jeans, and we had a hard time finding them. I never liked to school shop, and most people thought I was 18 when I was 11. So me and my sisters were treated awful by other folks, even folks that knew us. So to get attention and so wouldn't pick on me, I began fighting, getting in trouble at school and at church. I got in several fights and I was mean. If I said I want to do something, I would do it. I got suspended a lot. I really didn't want to be out of school. I loved school, but I didn't like the people. My grades were good, but that depression took all that from I could have done. I wanted, but I chose to be bad as I wanted to be. Now that's what I wrote back in 2009, 2008. Anyway, that had to be after I'm trying to think, is that after the breakup or before? I don't know. But anyway, that's what was still playing in my mind, was my childhood back in those days. Okay. Then I have this page in here called My Children. My children, I have 2 living, Jessica Boughton and Antonio Boughton, and 4 dead. Where do I begin? Well, Jessica came at a time in my life when I needed her the most. She was the one that inspired me to work harder toward my goals. I wanted her really bad. My sister had her daughter in 1992. And I'm not going to lie, I was jealous because her baby wanted her, and I wanted to feel wanted and loved. So I was dating an immigrant worker named Armando. Me and him worked together at the pack house where I was grading peaches. He was shy, real shy. He didn't talk much, so I guess Jessica got her mouth from me. His hair was an off black, but it was long and coarse, similar to a horse's tail. I love to play in it, so like I said, we started dating, and we would meet every night at the camp. The camp was where a lot of immigrant workers lived. In all, it was like 20 living there. It was 2 to a room. I would listen to music with him, drink beer. I remember we would some nights go outside and watch the stars and moonlight. That was beautiful. But he wouldn't talk much. He was shy at putting his arm around me. I don't know what that is. It looks like the word is. And I was only 15 and he was like 20. That's what that is. We really didn't have a relationship. It was more like friends with benefits. So I told him I wanted a baby, and he gave me a baby. When he found out I was pregnant, we kind of grew apart. I wasn't using my senses. At that time, I wasn't thinking child support or how the father was going to be or play an important role in her life. I just knew I could raise her by myself. I was being selfish at that time. I wasn't concerned about the future. I was in the here and now. Well, all the time I was on... Oh, that's a song. Okay, that's all I wrote on that. I got songs in here I was working on. Mr. Do Right. Say you're looking for a down chick. Somebody ready for a cause. Someone who's cool and don't mind taking off the draws. I call it like it is. Y'all, that was a song I wrote back in the day. You know I didn't have God in me then. Don't mind taking off the draws. What the world? I call it like it is. I'm straight up when it comes to my bill. I ain't got a front. I pay my own bills. And Lord, oh my God, I've got numbers everywhere written in this book because I love some money. Back then, I was in love with some money. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not like that now. So it goes on, and on here I have where I took some accounting classes when I was in college and got my certificate in accounting. Double entry accounts, supply and demand, which this would be still good if I was, trying to study in that. This would be good. Accounts receivable, service revenue. I learned a lot of business when I was in college. So, that wasn't college, was it? I'm not sure. No, I think this was my GED. Yeah, I think this one was for my GED. But I did go on to do accounting. This part says, I could say that I hate you, but that wouldn't be strong enough. Because the way you hurt me, I never thought that I would be strong enough. Oh, so many restless nights done hurt my pillows full of tears, just to find that I'm still here after leaving you almost don't count. I always love poetry, y'all. Always writing something. Almost don't count, let it go. She's all alone, been gone since the age of 15, still living hard. It's hard just to stay clean. All she got is her babies on her back, walking these streets. The past is too damn hard. Y'all, I'm reading off of this. This was back in the day. So if you hear a little cussing, that's what's written down on here. So she don't look back through it all, the heart and pain, through it all. She stays sane through it all, the heart and pain, through it all. It's time to let go. That was a song. Oh. You got tired hearing mama, so you moved quick with it. The drama only to find a man wasn't a man. Instead, he was one night stand. Now he got you with baby number 3 and you still don't got enough to eat. Seem like the jobs are kinda slow, but you stood tall. If you were hurt, you didn't let it show. Fresh out the pain, he's back on that crack again. Done stole your heart, don't see why you let him back again. All I know, you one hard sister, I don't know how. Did it this long with the mister. Go to school, get your education, you are a real queen. This just a temporary situation. Haters gonna hate, so just be patient. Oh, my foot falling asleep. Let me stand up. Man, this tablet got a lot of writing in it. Okay. Oh, it's got a story in here I was writing. Since it's already written, I may just add the animation to it. Penny McDry. Hi, I'm Penny McDry. I'm 13 years old. I live with my mom and my brother. My dad is a scientist. Y'all know I love scientists. Okay, I'm not going to give that story away. But let's keep moving to the part that really got me. Okay, so as I get to about middle ways. Oh, I remember that song, Chocolate Yum Yum. Middle ways, this tablet, I start seeing writing in here. And this writing isn't my writing. And I start noticing that there are things written in this tablet concerning financially, things that aren't mine. And it starts saying things like poison control, class 5 oxidizers, shock sensitives, class 6 poisons, 2 divisions, radioactive poisons, watch for sodium. It starts having some military stuff written in here, things to apply to water, nerve agents, blistering agents, agents that can cause blistering. So I start seeing all this stuff and I'm like, what in the world is this? Well, Mark and Sorrell, come to find out that this is some of the things that my ex started. My ex had wrote down different ways to kill. And I stay sick a lot, y'all. That's why I'm sick now. Things to put into liquids. Just different kind of chemicals here. Different types of explosives. And I thought, what in the world would this be for? Because he wasn't in the ex I was with. He wasn't in school or anything, you know. But for him to have all this information written in this tablet, and this tablet was hidden for a long time, and I thought it was just still my stuff in it. But when I got looking around in this tablet the other day as I was doing my kitchen, because he stayed in the kitchen all the time. He was all the time in that kitchen, and I wondered why he wouldn't let me cook for myself. I mean, every time I turned around, he never let me cook for myself. And one day my mom said, because this is what was happening. Every time he cooked, I would be knocked out. I'd knock out like probably within 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, I'd fall asleep, and it was hard for me to wake up. And my mama Cammy, she said, girl, you better stop eating his cooking. And I ain't think nothing about it. But even as mad as I would be with my mama, but at that time I really didn't have a problem with my mama because we didn't see each other like that. But every once in a while she would stop by and she'd have something to say. And she said, you better stop eating his cooking and pay attention to who's coming in and out your house. And because she was like, girl, you sleeping too much around here. You sleeping too much. And I just was like, mama, stop. You just making something out of nothing. You know, I was just going against the grain because I wanted the man. Well, I did listen to mama. I stopped eating his cooking. And when I stopped eating his cooking, I stopped falling asleep. But before then, every time I would eat his food, I would end up real sick. Joints would ache. Body would just be sore. Similar to some of the things I'm going through now. And that's probably how I knew how to recognize, you know, what I was going through now. But I stopped eating his cooking and I started getting well again. And sure enough, whenever I got rid of him for good, when we broke up for good, I got my total healing then. I mean, I could do whatever I wanted to do. I had a lot of good going for me then. Whenever I finally let him go for good. That's when my body started really restoring. But in this book too, in this tablet, he also wrote down isolation techniques, things to keep me isolated. How to close the doors and it's so much here. How to make it where it just would affect me and nobody else. Different types of pressures. How to take my oxygen pressure. He used to tell me all the time. He said, I can hit you in one area and it'll take your whole breath. That's what he would tell me all the time. This part here talks about how to give respiratory issues. Heat fatigue. How to give a heat stroke. Heat exhaustion. Heat cramps. He had a whole plan. He had a whole plan for me. And I didn't know it. So it's a list of things here he got for chemical agent types, nerve agents, blister agents, blood, cyanide, how to get somebody to choke, pulmonary or lung, nerve agents that are designed to kill, 6.10, round and dot. Military agents that are stronger. See, he was military, by the way. So most of his friends that he hung out with were military too. So he knew what to do, to cause problems. But when I read all this in this tablet, y'all, look here, destroy blood cells, destroy very low, make it hard for inhaling. Vapor, like you could just put a vapor down that can make it hard for you to inhale. I'm still like in shock. So that's what I've been doing. I've been sitting back thinking about how I thank God for just keeping me through those trying times and how he's keeping me now. Because I'm going through similar techniques even now. As a form of abuse. Not by him, but by others. Or at least I don't think it's by him. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, looking at this, he could call shots anytime he wanted to. That's what got to me. Now, there is a whole thing here that I could... Let me see how much time I done talked on here. Oh, we already done talked for 40 minutes? Oh, goodness. There's a whole thing here I wrote on the relationships. I don't know what's in it because this was written so many years ago. But I knew that man was dangerous. And just to confirm that it wasn't just all in my head or that I was just, sitting around making trouble. He made me believe that I was the problem and that I was just looking for trouble, just always looking for trouble. If you feel something in your heart ain't right, believe your heart on that part. If it's in your gut and it's your intuition telling you, hey, that's something not right, that about a person you've been around, believe yourself. Trust yourself enough to leave that person alone because there's some dangerous people out here. They don't care if you get hurt. They don't care if you die. They just go right on to the next person. But everything that man tried to do to me, how he tried to take my life, because some nights I was telling my daughter, she finally old enough to hear some of the stories, but I was telling her that it would be times at night when I would be sleeping, and if I would start snoring too loud, he would take the pillow and put it over my head and start smothering me. And sometimes he would slap me in my face, just hit me hard in my face while I was sleeping to wake me up. And then when I look over to see if it was him or if he was awake, he pretend like he was asleep. But I know it was him because I would feel the lick. I would feel it. And the next day when I would wake up, I would have these, swollen parts on my body. I'd be like, what happened? He would pinch me. He would kick me in my sleep while I was sleeping. He was doing a lot of horrible things to me. So when you see me not speaking to not even family members, it's because now that I'm remembering, I don't want to be looking at them, remembering all that stuff I went through. I'm in a healthy place now. I'm in a healthy place mentally and physically. I'm going to claim my healing regardless. But I do know even after when we did separate, when we went our own separate ways, it was so hard for me because he was a grand narcissist. It was still hard for me to believe that humans could behave this way. It's not the fact that these evil deeds are done, but it's just hard to believe that people could do people this kind of way. That other people don't believe and just leaving people alone. But no, some people can't take rejection. So because they can't take rejection, they will hurt you. And narcissists are some that will hurt you. Especially if they're in the closet. This one wasn't in the closet. He was wide open. Everybody knew exactly who he was, and they brushed it off as that's who he is. He do everybody like that. But no, that man was serious about a lot of things that were happening to me. And I would be just running to the doctors, and the doctors would be like, well, we found this in your blood, and it was so many things. It was hard to stay well. No matter what I did, it was hard to stay well because of him. It took me a long time to get back eating pancakes. I eat them now. I ate some today. I hadn't had none in about 2 or 3 months. It took a long time to start back eating pancakes because he tortured me with pancakes. He would put do y'all remember the brown looking glue that kind of looks like a shoe polish thingy? He would put that in my plate as syrup. And the pancakes would have cooked in mosquitoes. And sometimes I could see the mosquito wing or, like grasshopper legs sticking up out of it. He would purposely go and find, insect to put into my pancakes. And so that's what stopped me from eating pancakes. I just recently started back eating pancakes in around, I think, 2021. I started back eating pancakes. But before then, I had stopped cooking them and all because the horrible stories that go along with that. Every time he cooked pancakes, it was something always in it. I'd be like, why is this in it? One time he cooked me some pancakes and, I love blueberries. So anything that I loved, he would try to turn me against everything that I loved. So for the blueberries, he picked out the real blueberries out of the muffins and the pancakes that he would make, and he put flies in the place of it. Ugh. They talking about surviving Diddy. I need to do a documentary about surviving these relationships I was in. But yeah, I look and think about it now, and I'm like, girl, And that was for the pancakes. And don't let it be chocolate chips. If it would be chocolate chips, it would be little pieces of feces for chocolate chips. This one tablet brought all this back to my memory. This one tablet. It's old. It looks old. It's covered in spider webs and stuff because that's how old it was, and it was just in a place where I never thought to look. Sometimes he would cook chicken. My piece of chicken would be cooked with what I believe to be allegedly borax mixed in flour. It would have this strong soapy taste, and I couldn't eat it. So I would just leave that on the plate, and then I would go to the veggies and stuff like lima beans and pinto beans would have like hocks of phlegm in it. Like you cough up phlegm. It would have hocks of phlegm in it, and he was just always coughing around me. I don't know. It makes me wonder, did he have anything to do with what I'm going through now? It makes me wonder that. I mean, I don't put anything past. Because he always frowned around me and swiped his nose and coughed and things. I don't know. This tablet doesn't give answers to everything, but it does give answers and relief to some things that I went through. And I just had to sit back this week and reflect on that, because even when I look at my home, this man came into my home and he destroyed my home. He did things to my home to make things tear up, and he made sure that he kept me in a position where I had to keep fixing things, and I had to keep paying him to fix it, because I'm thinking he's really fixing things, and he's really helping me, and the whole time he's the reason why my things were breaking down. He was the reason why. But it felt good talking about it, y'all, just letting that out. I'm gonna go in here and cook something to eat now. It always feels good to let out things like that, and I just thank God that I didn't let it stop me from really being the person who I am today, and that I am back. Y'all, I didn't even realize that these noises just creeped up on us outside here. I'm sitting outside and just talking, so if y'all couldn't hear me, it's because I'm outside and these crickets or whatever, night crawlers, whatever they are, they cutting up. It's just hard to believe that humans act like this toward other humans. But when I look at Puff Daddy's case and things, or what he did to those people, I can believe it. I can believe those things happen, because I can't tell you how, but I have been in situations similar to some of the things that they're talking about. And if you don't go along with what everybody else is doing, then you're not considered part of nobody, and you get excluded from the events, from everything. So whatever caused me to be blacklisted, I'm okay with that, because now I don't have to worry about trying to sleep with somebody or trying to fit in. That's even in the gospel industry, y'all. How cruel these men are, and some of these women are. Don't believe that just because a woman smiles in your face and compliments you, or gives you praises of how good you are at working, that you're in the clear. Because sometimes when people are complimenting you, they're letting you know that, hey, I'm sizing you up. I'm just seeing what you really made of, or I'm jealous of you, or I'm going to make sure that you don't be that anymore. And that's what people fail to realize. It's just we're in a world that's full of sin, full of evil. And this is what Jesus was trying to teach us, apostles and the disciples. This is what they were trying to teach us. Now that Jehovah's Witness lady done been here and left these booklets on the floor, on the ground, knowing my back be hurting. Y'all, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, but they still be coming around. Ooh. I'm on the inside. I get something cooking. But yeah, so that is it. That's the evil that we don't always know. Sometimes we don't think people can do something to us, and then sometimes you don't think what you do in the dark comes to the light. And this is, I don't know. This tablet's about 15, 16 years old. I left him for good around 2000. We broke up in 2000. I want to say around 2010. That was the breakup for good. He still was coming around until 2013. But not coming around like, he was coming around every so often. But 2013, in that, I had to end it, because things were starting to get worse. So, that goes to show you how old that tablet is. Y'all, let me turn that down. So, I was watching cartoon in here. Yeah. But some people think that they're going to get away with what they've done to you. But you know what? He didn't get away with nothing he done to me. I didn't get justice for none of the things I went through. I didn't get justice for the spacing in the back of my head. But one thing I do know, when God came through, he disabled him in a way that I did not see coming. I did not see it coming. And I'm glad I'm not the woman. And I know this might sound mean, but I'm glad that I'm not the woman who had to take care of him after all the hell he put me through. He tried to cripple and disable me, and now he can't even wipe his own butt. He can't even pull his own tink out to, just do simple things. He got to have help with all that. So I am so glad that I was not the one left with that. But when you stay in evil relationships and evil situations, that can be the harvest that you reap if you don't get out of that season. If you don't leave it alone, when God tell you to lead somebody, you better lead them, or else you're going to be left with the badness. Because God know what he got planned for that person. He know what he got coming for that person. He knows how that person is going to reap. And you sitting there like you can outdo God, or like you're going to love them back to health, or love them into loving you the right way. You can't love an evil person into loving you back to the right person. You can try to help restore people back, but you can love them, but you can't make them love you. No matter how much you do or how much you try, if you're not good enough now, you're not going to be good enough then either. Because one thing about a narcissist is they know how to play the game to get what they want. And they will love you up. They will love bum you up and say you are the best thing that ever happened to them, knowing that you're not. Knowing they can't stand you, they hate your guts. I sit in this home now. I'm trying to fix it to my liking. But I sit here, and every time I look at this one corner in my house, all I can see is that man sitting on that chair with his legs stretched out, crossed on the chair, won't even sit up when people walk in the house so others could sit down. He would not even move his legs. This how evil-hearted that man was. If my family walk in this house, he'd keep his legs stretched across the chair so they wouldn't have nowhere to sit, or they had to walk all the way to the other side to sit down. That's how evil he was. That's what I'm talking. And he would look at them and he treat them the same way he treat me. Now, you're not even supposed to, because you're supposed to respect company. But no, he didn't do that. He didn't care nothing about that. He sat up there, face, looked mad at them, looked mad at me. And if he was on his real bad day, they could speak to him, and he wouldn't even speak back. I could speak. He wouldn't even speak back. Or sometimes he would get up and just walk to the room. So I'm going to tell you, if you're in a relationship with a man like that, that man ain't hitting on nothing. Leave him. Even if he's your husband and that man is disrespecting you and your family, I'm going to just be honest. God ain't giving some of y'all these husbands. Some of these husbands coming from the devil. God is not giving everybody these husbands like that. Some of these husbands is being born out of lust. Or you really want to be in a relationship so bad that you put yourself in danger. Y'all hold up a minute. That's where some of them relationships is coming from. You being in a hurry to want a man that bad. So, the women so quick to want to get married. I know I want to get married, but honey, I don't want to marry no man that don't love me, or somebody who's got the fakest love. It's hot in here. Miserable relationship. You can't raise healthy children. You can't raise healthy children in an environment where toxicity exists. You can thank you raising them. You can thank you shielding them from the hurt. Uh-oh. I left my water out. Gotta come back out here and get it. Ugh. You can think you're doing all that. But when they grow up, you're gonna see. They learned everything. Whew, y'all, I'm out of breath. I had to do a little walk. Y'all give me a second. Here, please. What in the world? Y'all ain't got no lights on in here, so I'm having to be careful while I walk. Come on, lights. There we go. Okay. So as I'm ending this, I'm just going to say it like this. Got 4 more minutes. Whew. One of those minutes I'm going to catch my breath. I know, y'all. Whew. My bad, but I gotta catch my breath. Y'all know I got that lung thing. I'ma say it like this. If your kids see what you going through, even if you tell them go to the room, it's affecting them. It's done got them. If they see you going through it, they going through it too. I don't care how much you try to protect them and tell them ignore it. You didn't see nothing. Yes, they did. They saw. They heard. There's no way out of it. And it's going to grow up in them. Either they're going to become the bully, the bruiser, or they're going to become the one that just takes everything that is given to them and believe that they're worthless. And a child who feels worthless is just as dangerous as a child who is bullied. So what I'm saying is that my tablet was confirmation and a reflection of what I was going through. But once I started committing my ways to the Lord, it didn't get easier. It got harder before it got to the point where I'm at now. It got harder. I had trouble with my kids. I never said I had perfect kids. I still face some things with my children. Never said they were perfect. I get tired of people trying to push me up there and pretend like I'm running around like I have the perfect family, the perfect grandkids, like nothing can go wrong, because of who I am. But no, who I am is a person who serves the Lord now. And that makes a difference with how I suffer with my rights and my wrongs now. It makes a difference in how my reaping and my sowing season is. It makes a difference at how I look and interpret that tablet that I just read. That was heartbreaking to have to feel that at such a young age, 4th grade. And y'all, and those who know my story, in 4th grade, that's not the only thing that was happening, that I was getting picked on about my weight. But I was constantly being sexually assaulted during that whole time and gain. So that saying is true. The kid does gain more weight once they start becoming assaulted by these men or women. That's why we got weight on us. Some of us. Because we did go through it. We survived it. Some haven't gotten to the point where they can live peacefully. Anyways, y'all, I'm getting off of here. I'm finna eat me something. And listen, just be there for people. Be real. Be real, okay? Just be real for people. That's all most people are looking for, is somebody who is real in their life. They're not looking for somebody who is just they just looking for real people. Real people they can talk to, real people they can listen to, because you can't really always depend on therapists. And this is why, because therapists, they have a role. And what do roles mean? Roles mean this is something I can play. It means I don't got to go home with this. I can leave this at the office. You want to talk with people who you trust. And if that's nobody, go to God. Go to God until He's seeing you somebody. Because as of right now, for me, I really don't have nobody that I trust. But I do trust God. And I trust God's opinion of me. Okay, y'all. So I'm off. Peace, love, and happiness. Y'all have a great Saturday.